Horses 101, tips and tricks to help your horse live longer. There's a lot that goes into caring for a horse, and especially having them where you're going to house them, their medical needs, their hooves, their dentist, and vaccines, everything along those lines. We are going to go over to make sure that you're taking the best care of your four-legged companion to help them to live to the oldest ages possible for horses. Speaking to your veterinarian and a local feed store who has a lot of experience with horses, good nutrition is essential. You're going to want to make sure that it is custom to each horse to make sure that they are getting the right hay, grass, grain, supplements that they're needing to help them to live longer. Having socialization with other horses is also crucial. Horses are a herd animal. They like to be together in herds to help protect each other from predators. Horses that have a large paddock, pasture, they're going to be the ones that are able to regularly exercise if you're not able to ride them, but they're going to be able to go around that pasture and canter and kick up their heels and be able to move. It's super important that they're able to walk around and graze, because in doing that, they're helping not have colic. And colic is a very bad disorder that you do not want your horse to have. Horses are meant to be foraging, especially all day. So make sure you're feeding them at least 2 to 3 times a day if it is during those winter months, or a round bale so that they're able to access it 24/7. Try not to overload your horse on unneeded calories as far as sweets, such as peppermints, sweet cubes, and sweet feed. Those are only meant for a treat once in a while. One huge thing with horses is their teeth is always growing. So you want to make sure to keep those as healthy as possible. They are a key to maintaining every year by an equine dentist to make sure that they're growing in the right patterns and not harming your horse's mouth, and making it so that it's comfortable for your horse to be grazing constantly and eating the food. So make sure to get that done every year. I would say that that is one of the hugest details that a lot of people forget about. Having a vet out every year to make sure your horse is healthy, updated on its vaccines, its wormings, and just making sure that its teeth and everything along those lines is good is super important. They will get you on the proper worming schedule. Definitely speak to them about that. We do know that genetics does have a factor on how long your horse will live, but if you try to follow along all those guidelines, you will definitely help, no matter what the breed is, to live its maximum life. Horsemanship is huge. As you can see, I am just in the middle of a pasture by myself with my pony, and we're just walking around as a team and being able to just kind of socialize with each other and work with him. It does grow such a good socialization between you and your pony or horse, and it's good. It's definitely good to get that in. When riding, you want to change your locations too. Horses get bored. They're just like people, right? So if you're constantly riding in an indoor arena, take them on a trail ride. And if for some reason you feel unsafe with going on a trail ride, then walk them down the trail or down a road, as long as it's not a busy road, and as long as you're safe as well. But they love that. They love a change of environment and to be able to visit with other horses. It's so great, and it's such a good bonding experience. You are probably wondering how long horses do live. Well, it depends on the breed, of course, but horses on average do live about 25 years to 30 years. Now, old Billy was born and raised in England, and he lived to be 62 years old. He is the oldest horse to have lived. But a lot of horses, especially my horses, have lived well into their mid-30s, no problem. And ponies can live even longer than that. As far as trimming your horse's hooves, every horse is different. Some horses do have very, fine, fickle feet who they do need shoes. So it just does depend. But on average, you are supposed to trim your horse's hooves every 6 weeks to 8 weeks. And that's going to help because unless they're on certain ground that's going to naturally chip them away, they're going to constantly be growing. And you don't want them to grow too long. It will be very uncomfortable for your horse, which is not good. You can see with this pony, as he is 30 years old, he's been losing his teeth, which does happen, unfortunately. He also has been graying quite a bit, and you can see that all around his face, his forelock, and I will show you a little bit of where you can tell his age. As far as riding, there's plenty of different styles that you're able to do with your horse, and every horse is different. You could do, for instance, English, which would be jumping, dressage, and cross country. Western, which would be barrel racing, Western pleasure, trail riding, herding cows, and reining. Saddle seat equitation. Or you can just hook your horse up to a harness and a carriage and be able to go down all the roads on that. And that is such a blast. But make sure your horse is safe enough to do that. Making sure that your horse has a salt block, mineral block, and selenium block in its field is essential because they do need those minerals in either their food or in those blocks. And they need to have access 24/7, just like cool water as well. For aging horses, there is joint supplements that will help with the arthritis as they're aging and magnetic therapy. Or you can do therapy with your horse to help with stretching and keeping them nice and loose. As far as stalling your horse at night, every horse is a little bit different, but it's preferred that they are left out in the pasture 24/7. But of course, some horses do need to be stalled, so it does depend on your situation. I hope you enjoyed this video.